But in all seriousness, I feel like DJs do get a bad rap for like dating just because they're everywhere. Yeah. But it's like, you know, we have feelings too. You know, we don't always want to be outside on the streets every day. We want to, you know, stay inside.
All right, so we'll look into this one. Say hi to everybody. What's up? Welcome to the Rice Cooker. We're here with AJ, aka Arigato or Arigato AJ.
Sir.
Nice. What is your name inspiration? Where does the handle come from?
Okay, so you know, everybody knows I'm a big fan of like Japanese culture.
Yeah.
But the name Arigato isn't like directly like implying like thank you. When I was younger, getting into like music production, I went by Hellcat.
Oh.
And then it was like a riff off of like Hello Kitty, and I changed the cat part to gato, like cat in Spanish.
Hello Gato.
So it was Hell Gato. And then after a while, I was like, I need a new name. And I was like, you know, I was at like a Chinese restaurant and I saw like the Lucky Cat, and I was like, Lucky Cat, Lucky Gato. And I was like, Arigato, and it just rang.
There you go.
So yeah, Arigato is like a riff on like thank you, but also like
the cat, gato.
The cat, like
the
lucky gato.
Like Arigato Neko cat.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, everybody always asks me if I'm giving the short version, I'll just be like, it just means thank you in Japanese. But like, if I'm giving them the lore version, I'm like, yeah, it's like, you know, there's some nuance to it.
Give the lore.
Yeah.
People love lore. They like knowing there's a story behind the story behind the story.
Most definitely.
I'd love to know how. So just to introduce everybody, like I DJ'd something with you maybe less than a year ago. It was the Poke Rave at High Tide.
Yeah, that was.
But you've done Prison Power and stuff in the past, so we've been orbiting each other in this like anime rave network, which is a thing. Here.
Y'all here. We exist. We're here.
Yeah, we're here.
We're not going anywhere.
Proud. We have our little light sticks. Yeah. We're ready to party.
Exactly.
But I wanted to learn more about just how you got into like the art of DJing and what it means to you, because you really like when I come to see AJ dance, like we come to see Arigato dance, and you approach it so freely in a way that makes it comfortable for the audience to like trust you with these wild genre changes and switches. Man, so where'd the fire start for you?
So I got started DJing around my birthday a few years ago. My sister, my best friend Dylan, just a bunch of our other friends, we would go out to like bars and whatnot, and we kept running into like the same like, oh, this DJ sucks. And after a while, like my friends were like, man, AJ, I feel like you could do better if you started DJing. And I was like, challenge accepted. And so that was kind of like the reason why I got into it. I just got tired of going out with my friends, spending like upwards of like $20+ to get into a spot. Like the music sucks. So I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna start up something where people will know that if my name's attached to it, it's gonna be fun. So yeah, that was just kind of my like introduction to it. I've always been first in music. Like my dad, he like did music growing up. I like helped him out with like engineering and whatnot.
Oh, and, so like the engineering side of things. So boards do not scare you?
Not at all. Yeah. That like nothing, no technical little machinery can't scare me. It took me like, I want to say like 3 days to like learn DJing from nothing. From actually.
Oh yeah. I'm a person. It is so funny you say like you went somewhere and like you had a bad DJ. Everybody goes somewhere and has a bad DJ experience. I'm a person who loves to say, I'm saying it. There's no wrong way to DJ.
There's no wrong way.
There's no wrong way.
I agree.
There's no wrong way. Like if you're doing it, you're doing it. But it means something so much more to me than I think the average restaurant goer, bar goer, club goer. That it's like I take it personally in like for some reason like,
I agree.
And it's not technical skill. It's just curatorship, knowing the crowd. I look for all of it. Yeah. It is because if you don't know the crowd, there's some spots where I walk into, I'm not the DJ for that crowd.
Right.
I'm not. And then there's some other spots I walk into that I'm like, we could all be doing better. We can do better. You can do better. I could be better. We can all be better.
Most definitely.
So the DJ technology has become so accessible. Like it's so much easier than I saw my first DJ in the 80s as a child on turntables.
Beautiful.
And so the fact that you can get on your phone and DJ now. And the right, and I always say, the rising tide raises all ships, but also watch out for that sewage, right?
Ooh,
right?
I like that. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, they used to. It's like a marketing thing. People used to say when the internet's great for advertising. The rising tide raises all ships and all. But sewage in the water. Has anyone thought of that?
Yeah.
So we're in this
sewage in the water.
We're in this age where there are a lot of DJs. Does that mean there's a lot of sewage DJs out there? Maybe. It may well be. Yeah. I'm not naming no names.
Oh.
I'm just saying we should all make an effort to rise. If the tide's gonna rise, let's rise and let's do our best. And you're a person that unapologetically, I feel like, cannot be yourself when you're DJing. Do you feel that way?
Yeah. I've gone to a lot. I've been added to a lot of events where I'm just completely out of my element. They want to have me on for the energy, but they don't realize that sometimes my energy is not exactly what the crowd is looking for. I've been to R&B nights, and they're play whatever you want, and I'm like, are you sure? Are you absolutely sure you want me to play whatever? I'm like, just give me a genre. Tell me what to play. They're like, no.
Give me 3 genres.
Give me three songs, and I'll match an entire playlist to it. They're like, no. As soon as I start playing, they're like, do you think you can?
And then when the gabber hits,
when I start hitting 150 BPM, they're like, this crowd's a little older. Do you think you can I'm like, what? You had 2 weeks to tell me to you lucky I brought up a backup playlist.
You're lucky I have this 90s playlist from the cookout.
Backup, the cookout days, yeah,
So we
got along after that, but it was that first 10 minutes, they were like, whoa, hey, I didn't know you were bringing drum and bass to a old folks thing. I'm like, they grew up with this more than me.
That's true.
Yeah, but I've run into that quite a few times.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of in my range of knowing me. If you add me to something, I'm probably gonna go off whatever you think you could.
I also think the kind of, I don't know what to call it, genre addiction or obsession with genre. I feel very limited by it. Like if someone's like, oh yeah, we're doing a house or a techno night, I really feel like maybe I'm just a rule abider, but I really feel the need to stay in that. But I feel also if you invited the re-show to your party, and you've seen me play before, you know that I'm going to do a lot of different weird things.
Yeah, right? I really admire the way you DJ. You kind of you keep it constrained, but it's very organized and meticulous. And I always watch you whenever you twist your knobs. It's always right where it needs to be. Me, I overshoot.
No.
Correct it.
I'm suggesting to the crowd that a change is coming.
Yeah, there you go.
And you can do that as simple as just lowering the bass on one track. And people don't realize that their body, they're getting their body ready for them. They don't know why. They're like, oh, a flange? Oh, something's happening here. They don't know, but they don't realize, and they shouldn't realize why they're feeling the things they're feeling. I do get very knobby. I don't know. That's a thing. I like getting knobby.
I love it.
It's also just something to fidget with.
I
get good money for this. I'm gonna touch everything.
Yeah.
So
I feel you on that, but I will just throw it out there. I feel like people who've seen me perform a lot, they know that it's kind of spontaneous.
Yeah.
It's whatever my brain thinks of on the fly. If I want to transition perfectly, I'll do it. But sometimes I'm just throw it on there.
Sometimes
listening to this song.
Sometimes it's gonna be. It's just gonna be, here's a piece of movie dialogue. Or we change the BPM completely, or the tone of the bass or something. So, I love talking to people about, aside from the DJing stuff, because DJs, in their day jobs, if they're not DJs and producers full time, their job usually has something to do with creativity. So tell me about I work on set, I direct, I know exactly and appreciate so much exactly what you do as a production designer,
Yeah.
but let everyone know what you do and just let them know what it is because nobody knows what it is.
Yeah. So in my day to day, I'm not Arigato AJ.
Yeah, you are. You are though. You are though. You are
I'm
though.
Arigato AJ through and through. But usually every day I'm a production designer, and so I like lead the art department on film shoots, music videos, commercials. I've been doing that for like quite a long time now. And it's very fruitful. It's giving me such a great outlook to creativity, and just like every room that I step in, I take down like intricate details to be like, yeah, that's the way that art is like trimmed, that comes from certain eras and whatnot. And it's just something to kind of like geek out about on like a very like low, like small scale, but in such a wide range.
Yeah. Your job is aesthetic and
Yeah.
feeling. And when as a director, when we're on set, we depend on you to create this vibe and this believable atmosphere. And the work that you do, I can see in the performance of the people we bring on set.
Yeah.
If there is minimal or no budget for production design, your actors are extra acting. And you want to remove, as a director, I want to remove that from their plate.
Right.
Every piece of wardrobe, their makeup, if they feel right in their makeup, in their clothes, they can change their behavior. Stepping into a scene that looks like the way it's supposed to look, changes the performance. I will say art direction is the thing that makes a director look the fanciest.
Right.
When you go onto a set that looks like a set,
people
like,
go into
you probably know this. The director's
yeah.
getting credit for the work you're doing.
It
And we
happens,
appreciate
and
it.
honestly, I take no offense to it. I'm like, that's my whole thing is if I can take what's in your brain and let everyone else see it, then I'm fulfilled.
Yeah.
So if everybody's dapping you up, I'm like, go read, go read. I'm like, I'm step back and be like, hey, I do my shine. I do my shine where I can.
I will say I believe that production design is harder and more detailed these days because we have this Instagram generation where we see beautifully like beautiful images and grids and aesthetic and color palettes. Everyone is so much more educated and exposed to just like what good aesthetic is.
Right.
Like you're competing with that now. Now you have to create this hyper reality that people didn't expect 10 or 20 years ago. I feel like that's like a shift that I feel like I've seen like since the old days of like directing like branded content to now. It's like people's expectations of what art department is supposed to do so much higher than it used to. Everyone wants a Disney level broadcasting.
And sometimes they want a Disney set, but got like Nickelodeon budget.
Yeah,
like,
I got a Sega Genesis budget.
They got
You want a
thrift store and whatever.
PlayStation graphics. You got Sega Genesis budget. Is what you've got.
But in that, I've worked on all types of budgets on set, and I feel like lower budgets give me more creativity, more things to work with. You're with a higher budget, I feel like that's when they're like, we want this to the T. Like no room for
they won't give you any room because they're like, I gave you a bunch of money. Why isn't it exactly my imagination?
So like lower budgets, you can kind of venture out to what you want, like creatively.
Creatively.
Creative. Yeah. There we go. Thank you. But yeah, I feel like I find comfort in like lower budgeted production.
Yeah.
Just because I feel I can be more myself with production design, whereas like bigger budgets, it's like we want this, don't do anything else.
Different.
But we also want you to have a little bit of you in it, but not too much.
Yeah.
It's like, I can get behind that.
How do you think your background in art department and production design, how does it flow into what you do when you're doing music stuff?
I feel it flows based off of my personality in general. I feel like a lot of things that I do, they all are sort of an amalgamation of things that I like. So there's productions that I go on where I'm like, I don't want to say like the personality hire, but like they choose me because they know this is what they're going to get. So I feel like that translates over to whenever I DJ as well, because, they know what they want from me. They know what they're going to get. And in that, it's like, it could be anything. So it's like, I feel like I'm very versatile. When it comes to like production design, I can do any type of genre, median, same DJ. I feel like they kind of go hand in
Yeah,
hand.
I can see that because art department, you really have to be a whatever of all trades. Of all trades, it's like you need to build a wall. You need to build a wall. Go build that wall. Now you're a carpenter. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It's like you don't know anything about art. Make a piece of art for the back of this hospital room because we can't use copyright.
That's 100. I've never worked with florals before until one of my friends, Alex, he had me on set dressing, and the entire day was just working with like trees, flowers, and I'm like, now I'm accidentally the tree guy. Every shoot after that, I'm like, hey, I saw you worked on this. Do you think we can like add it? And I'm like, my poor fingers were so raw for that entire month. Like, shout out to Alex though. Like, I'll give him that.
Well, like I said, these interviews aren't terribly long, but I like to give some room for you to talk about like anything DJ related. Like sometimes I ask like, what do you say to people? Like you came up on DJing just a few years ago. I've been DJing for 22 American years. Yeah, that's like 40 years in other countries.
Okay, I was like, I only know American years.
Yeah, because the metric system.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So. But you came up, within the last few years DJing. What do you tell people when they're scared to try it? Or, like DJs kind of have a bad rep.
Yeah.
Like no one wants a day to DJ. Everyone wants to shit
I
to
don't
DJ.
know why. It's funny you say that because a lot of my friends will always send me those memes of like, oh, I just went on a Tinder date with a DJ and he says he's gonna cook for me and he's just like in the back like
yeah.
And like I'm like, yeah, that would be me. That would be an ideal first date for me. I'm like, oh, you want to see me DJ? And I've done that before. And it's been pretty.
That's a good test.
Yeah, if they can sit behind me in the living room while I'm DJing, they can come to one of my shows and have a good time.
All right, so I think for the last question we're gonna have to give dating tips for DJs. What do you have?
Dating tips for DJs?
It can just be one. I'll let you do multiple, but just give me one good one.
One dating tip.
One date. It could be like DJing on the first date. Get it out of the way. Come out of the DJ closet. I don't know.
If I have to say like dating a DJ or a DJ dating someone.
Whatever it means to you.
Sometimes you might have to do it back to back. And you gotta be all right with it. Not everybody is always going to be your only, and I feel like out here in LA especially, there's always going to be another DJ, and that's okay,
I feel that physically, spiritually. That's the thing when you're a DJ and you're dating, like everything's a back to back now.
Everything's a back to back.
Everything. What you eat for lunch and dinner. It's a back-to-back decision.
Yeah, you gotta just keep going.
You want to finance that car?
Yeah.
That sounds like a back-to-back decision.
Yeah. In this economy, don't be afraid to do it back-to-back.
Polyamory for economical reasons? We need 3 or 4 of us just to pay for this mortgage.
Hey, man, it happens. It's like you need 3 or 4 people to have a cool DJ night. It's like,
why not life partners?
There you go. It's a beautiful thing. But in all seriousness, I feel like DJs do get a bad rap for like dating just because they're everywhere. Yeah. But it's like, we have feelings too. We don't always want to be outside on the streets every day. We want to, stay inside and play a few sets.
I think there's a misconception that we love attention, but we actually just want to be alone with our laptops.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah. Whenever I'm at a show and I play early, people will be like, oh yeah, you're just going to party for the rest of the night. I'm like, I'm going to get a drink and go smoke in the corner. Because I'm tired, my fingers hurt, and my ears are bleeding. Like,
I'm literally wearing compression socks.
Exactly.
Like at the gig. Y'all don't understand what it's like to DJ.
Right. But at that same time, I feel like DJing is very fun. Anyone can do it, and anyone should do it. Like, gatekeep. Like, my friends always come to me like, hey, can you teach me how to DJ? Like, it's alright. I'm like, I will teach you everything I know. Yeah. And from that, like, people have gotten booked and bigger things than me. And I'm like, hey, hold on. Let me get on that lineup. But it's very fun. I show what I can. I try to make people understand that it's not a hard thing. If you like music and you want to DJ, you should learn it. Even if you're not trying to be like headlining at Coachella or something, like you just want to play for your friends.
again, there's no wrong way to do
No
it.
wrong way to
Just do it and see if you like it.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
that's life advice.
That's life advice.
All right. I'm gonna say goodbye on this camera. Thank y'all for being on the rice cooker with us and AJ Arigato. Yo, you did it.
Oh, thank you. We did.
We did it.
Look at us.